Welcome to the NDIS Property Australia podcast. Before starting this episode, we need to provide a general disclaimer. Information contained in this podcast is general in nature only. It does not take into account the objectives, financial situation, or needs of any particular person. You need to consider your financial situation and needs before making any decisions based on the information in this podcast. And you should consider seeking independent and professional advice for your personal circumstances. All right, let's begin.
Hi everyone, it's Matthew here from NDIS Property Australia, and I'm here with our director Min. Today we're discussing our upcoming projects and our build construction pipeline.
Thanks, Matt. We're just following on from last podcast where Matt and Aaron were talking about the state of the market in terms of land supply and opportunities. And it's ideal for us to talk about some of the opportunities around Australia that we have at the moment, Matt. It's been a lot of hard work in the background, not being able to say much to our clients and our listeners. But I think today is a good opportunity for us to tell what we have working on the background and go from there. So, Matt,
absolutely.
Over the last few weeks, you get a lot of calls from me, clients, and asking about what's in
the build pipeline.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
What have you been saying?
So I've just mostly been talking about kind of our projects which are coming up soon in different states, but obviously the time frame of those has been going out a bit further than we expected due to COVID and general shortages of land. So I guess today we will kind of break down the states, Queensland, New South Wales, Tasmania, Victoria and WA, and what we're doing in those locations. So we'd just like to start probably with Queensland and what our projects are coming up in Queensland.
Yeah. One of our builders on the Gold Coast, they've been working with a private developer who have two sites. One is Ipswich. They have a small subdivision, infill subdivision of about 8 blocks in Eastern Heights. And they're going through the subdivision process at the moment with about an estimated time frame of about August of titles for these 8 blocks, Matt.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Ipswich is a very good area in terms of demand in Queensland, probably the second largest area in Queensland, I guess, for SDA participants. And with these 8 blocks being, 400 to 600 square meters each, it'll be ideal for us to actually have a mixture of robust, improvability, fully accessible and high physical support as designs in these blocks here. And it'll be good to have those cited and designed and priced up in the next month or so for us to start selling them to our clients or recommending them to our clients before around May or June, I guess. Good.
And we've got a few other ones in Ipswich, is that right? Yeah.
So one of our team members came to us with a small 15-block subdivision, and she's looking at maybe 3 of those blocks being ideal for SDA. We gave it to one of our builders today as well. She looked at it and she confirmed that probably improvability and robust are those categories there, those 3. So they're all up there. Ipswich is 8 plus 3 is 11 potential blocks for SDA there, and they're infill sites, not estate. So with the rule of the states, Matt, you can only allowed to work with a benchmark of about 15%.
Yeah, it's about 10 to 15%
of a estate, whereas these are infill sites, so they're not. Those rules don't apply.
Perfect. Yep. Yeah. So I suppose moving on from Ipswich, we're also looking at a few properties in the Sunshine Coast.
Yeah. So the same developer who is working on those 8 blocks in subdivision of Eastern Heights has 2 blocks in Woodford. And Matt, you go up to Sunshine Coast with your family.
I do. It's an excellent area, and obviously it's very high growth.
Where do you go for holiday every time you go up there?
I go to kind of inland from Noosa.
Yep.
Kind of the Pomona, Kinkin area.
Yes.
And very, very nice location. Obviously, it's reasonably coastal, so there's a lot of lifestyle benefits to living up there. And as I mentioned, very much a growth area.
I was looking at the site of Woodford. That's about 40 minutes from the beach.
Yeah, about that.
Was that which beach was it? Was it Caloundra or which other?
I think it's a bit south from Caloundra.
Okay.
Yeah.
So those 2 blocks are next to a childcare centre to be built, and they're 700 square meters each, and they could be perfect for 2 SDA builds on those sites, which could be used as SDA and or respite and MTA as well. One will be a 4-bedroom high physical support, and the other one will be a 3-bedroom high physical support as well. So that'll be nice. And then also Caloundra, we have a Caloundra block there, Matt.
Yep, absolutely.
You're working on this client.
Yes, yeah. So he's looking to, yes, sell his property at Caloundra. And obviously Caloundra is a great location. So this is a great opportunity for someone to buy a block that titles in June.
Yeah, that's great. So that's Caloundra, Woodford there, Sunshine Coast. Now, a bit further north is Harvey Bay, isn't it? We just got the package there. So
an IL package, yep.
Improvability, that's going to be titled in July, was it?
July,
yeah,
correct.
Okay, cool. Now moving on, Gold Coast.
Yeah, so there's a lot of development for NDIS properties in the Gold Coast. We will have a few properties in Coomera, is that right?
Yeah, I mean, I think the client rang you the other day. They wanted to sell their brand new, just built HPS house, right, Matt?
Yep, that's correct. Yep.
So there'll be two there, which are we often get the question asked a lot is, do you have any built properties?
Yep, that's a big question that clients often ask.
And these two in Coomera would be perfect for that. Yeah.
Yeah, so they will actually be, they'll be easy to tenant and obviously speed to market.
So they're 4-bedroom, Kera plus 3,
yep.
HPS, and there's two of those houses being finished right now. Cool. Now, the other one is Deception Bay you mentioned as well.
Yeah, so we'll have a group home, which is currently constructed in Deception Bay.
That was built, I think, in August last year. Yeah. And so the investor wants to sell off his recently built 6-month-old HPS house group home, Kera plus 4 bedrooms for 4
Kera
tenants.
plus 4. Yep.
High physical support. Yeah. Matt, where is Deception Bay for our listeners to know where that is?
Yeah, so it's about 30 to 40 minutes drive north from Brisbane.
Yeah. In the Moreton Shire, near the water there.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool. So that's Queensland wrapped up. What's next?
So moving down to New South Wales.
Yep.
So we will have a number of regional properties available coming up soon.
Yeah,
I was talking super exciting.
Yeah, I was talking to one of the builders today, developer builders, and they've identified 25 different sites as villas or apartments or just duplexes for as improvability or robust or HPS, high physical support. And there's opportunity there for investors to get into regional New South Wales as well if they want to do that. Because as you know, Matt, Sydney prices for land is too expensive.
Absolutely. Yep.
So there are disabled people everywhere in Australia, and regional New South Wales is a hot spot as well for SDA.
Excellent. And we've got one block in Sydney.
Well, actually, it's not a block. It's actually a house under construction. So Paul in our team in Sydney, our BDM, he went to inspect the house about a week ago, and he said it's a 4-bedroom HPS, 75% completed. So probably another 2 months before it's all finished as SDA. In May 21, May 22, sorry, is when it'll be finished. And that's pretty expensive. Just to show you the price, I think they wanted $1.9 million for it. That's a very expensive house. So that wraps up New South Wales in terms of regional and metro. Next is
Tasmania.
Yeah. So in one of our last podcasts, we talked about Melbourne and Tasmania, and one of the developers and builders who is working on prefab construction, they've identified 70 to 80 different blocks in Tasmania as resi, like normal construction homes, and maybe a handful or two of maybe 5 to 10 more SDA houses to be built in Hobart and Launceston, and also near Launceston as well as SDA properties too, Matt. So that'll be
great first mover advantage.
Yeah, robust potential
There's
homes.
Not a lot down there, but obviously there's still the demand.
You've seen the charts, haven't you? There's only one or two houses down there. SDA.
Yep.
So let's watch that space. We'll have some more information on that in the coming month or two on release of land in Tassie. If people want to get their good yields and whatnot, then getting land at a cheap price is the way to go. And that's one of the untouched areas in Australia which need SDA support. Yeah.
Excellent. And obviously, Big Fish, Victoria.
Yep.
Yeah. So do you want to kind of break down, we're working with 2 builders down there?
Yeah, 2 or 3, yes. One of them is a prefab construction builder who can build within 2 months, and under 2 months, sorry. They only focus on robust homes at the moment. And another one is another big builder who's doing the hybrid design homes, where they do all 4 categories in one house. And again, as you said in the last podcast, land supply is a big issue. And anyone looking to invest in Melbourne has to act really quick, because they're all telling us you got to EOI, as in expression of interest, $1,000 down, within 2 days of release. Yep. So blocks are selling really fast in Melbourne. You can't just wait. You got to actually act quick. But luckily, one of our builders, this prefab builder, they actually have 4 blocks titled land, and they've been BA approved as well, building approval.
Excellent.
The council. 4 blocks, and they can build the robust homes in 5-6 weeks.
Excellent. So blocks are disappearing quickly, but you can speed to market.
Yes.
Definitely.
So block titled land, tick. Building approval, tick. Factory ready to build, tick. Finished, handed over to an investor within 5-6 weeks. Tick.
Amazing. Perfect.
And also, Rob, in our previous podcast about Melbourne, he referred me to a colleague of his who is a SIL provider, and they actually have 30 plus participants for robust homes. So
Excellent.
they could definitely theoretically fit into these 4 blocks ready to go to build as well. So that's the opportunity there. But that's not to say that there's no other blocks anywhere else, because there is. We just need to get feedback from investors as to what they can afford to pay, because the closer into Melbourne, like east, southeast, Melbourne's more expensive, $500,000 a block, whereas further out west is probably 350, 300, 320, whatever the prices are. So prices depend on where their location is. Right? So those 4 blocks are around Werribee, Wallen and Wyndonvale areas as well. So
because there's a lot of expansion in West Melbourne.
Yeah, there is a lot of land up there, yeah. And then I came across one of the regional builders in Victoria who are from, not Ballarat, is it Ballarat or Bendigo? Shepparton. So they only build regional only. Yeah. So that's Melbourne I guess we'll have 4 blocks there ready to go now, and any other blocks in the future, next few months, as in 4, 5, 6 months from now, will be off the plan. But you need to act quick if you're an investor to get land. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Cool. That's good to know. So moving on to Perth, and I know we've been talking to our investors for a while about villas in Tapping in Perth. Could you give us an update on that?
Yeah, so we've been waiting for an update for about 3 months now. So the developer has said that the 9 villas that were planned to be released are now potentially only 8, being 3 HBSs and 5 villas in Tapping. Unfortunately, the local council has said they want to rezone it to be commercial. The developer and the town planners are going to a meeting very soon, next week or 2, to get a second opinion to reassess that. Now, if it is successful, this appeals per se, then it's 2 or 3 months away from launching for our product release to our investors. Best case scenario.
Okay.
The worst case scenario, it's cancelled and it's all over.
Okay.
So we have about 20 potential clients who actually love this low price product of a villa, SDA villa, and about $470,000 for a robust and $570,000 for a HBS villa for 1 tenant, 1 participant. So that's where that's at. Yeah, but there's another opportunity coming up too.
Yeah, the good thing is that we've got another opportunity, obviously, in place of that.
Point Coogee.
Coogee, yeah.
Yeah. So the same developer, they're putting an offer in for a site in Point Coogee, which is a beachfront area, very upmarket place in Western Australia, Perth. And there's going to potentially 14 units there as fully accessible and HPS. I think the price point will be between around $650,000 to $700,000 for those units there.
That's pretty affordable.
So they're going to lodge the DA, or put an offer in to buy the site, lodge the DA as well, and we'll know the outcome in the next 3 or 4 months' time as the official launch date and everything. So we're the exclusive advisors and agents on that one. So it'll be good to get that to market to all our investors. So yeah, I think that's what wraps it up, I think. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thanks, Min, for the summary of the current pipeline of projects that we've got coming up.
Yeah.
It's been awesome talking to you about this.
I think it's important for us to talk on a podcast about what's coming up. Because
Absolutely.
Everyone's always asking, what do you got? What's happening? Do you have anything built? Where is it at? What's the price? So we hope that this podcast today is enough indication to you all the listeners out there, that we are working hard in all the different areas around Australia, other than Northern Territory. Not yet. We're not there yet. It's hard to get that. But definitely Adelaide as well. We've come across a building in Adelaide to consider. So we're working hard to find sites and opportunities for our investors. And in the coming weeks, we're going to have more guest speakers on our show to give people more of an indication as to what's important in the marketplace for design and also locations. Yeah.
Excellent. Thanks, man.
Awesome. I guess we'll wait for the next release of the podcast next week then.
Sounds good. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Cheers.
We hope you enjoyed this episode. please make sure that you are subscribed and following us so that you can keep in the loop with all of our upcoming episodes. We would really appreciate it if you could leave us a 5-star rating, a written review, and to share this episode with those that can benefit. Until next time, catch you on the next episode.